it is a common fact that we're living in a really busy and machine-like society. People are really busy to fully pack works, and there are surely a less time to spend carelessly. So people tend to do only their job without sharing time to get like feeling refreshed or care themselves. And how about an SMU? Well, we can see lots of people studying in the library, stuck by homework or researches or fully stacked books, and there are a lot of environmental issues that hinders our attention. We surely have no time to wait, so we tend to ignore all of these and struggle with the work with getting a lot of stress, or we like kind of give an interest to it and say to ourselves like, oh no, somebody might have been studying while I was giving a reply to Kakao Talk. So because of this situation, most people are kind of stressed out, and I surely believe some of us might have a burnout syndrome. So therefore, I hope we have the same feeling of something to interfere that give us freedom for a while, which relieves stress and give us a bit more healthier and happier life. So yeah, I'm here to talk about the power of distraction, and we're going to view it on the bright side and how to use this weapon wisely. So then, what comes to your mind when we see the word distraction? Actually, distraction, when we ask the meaning to Merriam-Webster, it actually says the object that directs one's attention away from something else. And when we ask this to Wikipedia, it says almost the same. Then, when we find a distraction like this, we can say that smartphones or like some kind of related apps from Facebook to Skype or Kakao Talk could be in the range of distraction. However, this is only a small fragment of examples of distraction. Actually, judging from its definition, distraction can be anything that makes us relax or feel refreshed, which means like reading books, playing instruments, cooking, or like kind of solving plain tests could be in a range of distraction. And even sleeping or studying other subject could be in the distraction too. However, Wikipedia tends to view the distraction as not so good, and we also have those kind of mindsets. Time is full, so it's just a waste of time when you have a time of distraction. I'm really fully fed up with my work, so there's no time to spare. Everybody's such an expert, so I never want to fall behind them, and I really want to get good grades and surpass them. So I should reduce my time to refresh myself. I truly understand these, and they are surely true. But however, have you ever thought about the different aspects of distraction? I mean, is distraction genuinely useless? To think of some of the good aspects of distraction, we can say that it can reduce stress, or we can feel a short freedom from fully packed up works. So let's talk more about the power of distraction. Since we're living in a society where lots of circumstances trying to attract our mind, books highlighting our deep work or time management skills are often mentioned. But even in those books, the power of distraction is emphasized. Why? Because the authors know the real power of distraction, comprehended the power of distraction, which is relieving stress and revitalizing concentration ability. And a research held by McRae and others showed this result. And I'm gonna make a brief summary of this, which means distraction can alleviate anxiety while stimulating the brain a bit, and this supports the curing and recovery effect of distraction. So, plus distraction can make us even more focused. From the research of 2008, regardless of the season, people who strolled around nature tend to memorize better than the people who just sat down and memorized. Well, this is because of the peacefulness of nature, so you can get a similar effect while you're just strolling around anywhere. Just avoid downtown. And I wonder someone like applying the method like this, like write down on the paper and you walking and read it, and this is one of the best methods to memorize one things in a short time. And plus, even though brains interpret the situation selectively, there are far more information we perceive than the brain could process. So eventually our focus leaks and leaks, and the brain gets tired. So it is crucial for brain to recover from fatigue periodically. And here is where distraction comes into an action. And I wonder if you have some kind of struggle with something and fail to solve it at the first time, but suddenly came up with an idea and found a solution. How about Archimedes' Euryclide method? He found the solution while he was bathing, and French mathematician Poincaré deliberately took a short vacation while he was struggling with hard problems, and while he was enjoying the vacation, he always solved that problem. In these three empirical situations, what exactly happened? Let's view this on a psychological level. So, when we face a problem and try to solve it, there are some times we can solve immediately, and we have two choices: just to get continuously struggling on the problem, or just leave it alone when preparing for second match. And what would you choose? So it tends to be more effective when we let the subconsciousness take to action, since we tend to adhere to our original thoughts while we're having trouble. In 1942, psychologist Luchin asked people some questions to find a way to meet the exact volume of water by using three different water baskets. And there are two difficulties, and people who started to solve harder problems tend to think really complicatedly, even though the question was easy. They couldn't make themselves out of their fixed mental set. And this fixedness to mental set gets even higher when we lack of time. But if we give a brief time to divert our attention, our subconsciousness works into an action, and somehow we can get an insight of the problem and try more different methods with an open mindset. And we can come up with aha experience out of the blue, and the idea actually works quite well. And this can even lead to creative thoughts, since we can view problem at a different perspective. So we've appreciated the good aspects of distraction, and we should know how to use this weapon wisely. So if you're good at making plans, then follow Mr. Zeibert's statement. It's crucial to schedule our distraction time daily plan. Oh, okay, I understand, but how? Take a look at this time efficiency graph. People tend to have a hard time around like 3 p.m. and after midnight. So if we can divert our interest in those times, then we could focus more on our work after that. And plus, Anders Ericsson, who is famous for 10,000-hour rule, mentioned that people can focus on one thing no more than about 1 hour. So it's better to take a small distraction for about 10 minutes after focusing on for 1 hour. However, aren't there other times we can focus really deeply for 3 to 4 hours? So let's apply this method flexibly. In a normal state, we can focus on 60 minutes and take a distraction for about 10 minutes. But if you desire to study, and if we can focus on restless mood, then we can have like almost 4 hours of work and then having half an hour of rest. But there are sometimes we feel like we're forced to study. Then it could be switching the working time and the distraction time a bit more regularly could be the best answer. Could be one method. But whatever the case, remember this: the longer the focusing period is, the longer the focusing interval should be. And how about internet? Couldn't we use internet as a good source of distraction? Well, actually, when we see a lot of references, it actually says internet and smartphones are detrimental because we could be too absorbed in it. And these devices are actually especially disturbing our work. This has its point because internet tends to make us surf through a lot of data by showing related results that are our interest, and also sounds, vibrations, and flashing screens of smartphone hinders our attention. But I surely believe, if used wisely, internet and smartphone are the handiest distraction we could use when we want to review the problem or like revitalizes our focus. However, there surely needs a rule. So especially self-moderation is needed when you use internet-related distraction. And since internet is hard to quit immediately, so one method I suggest is to set an alarm or start a countdown that regulates your time spending on internet. It could be even better to set the time when you check all the KakaoTalk messages or surf through SNS. This implies it is crucial to make your smartphone in do not disturb mode and tell others the time you're free to speak, and except for that time you ought to stop using devices. We might as well shut the Wi-Fi down while you're using computer. And plus, but else while feeling tired, we can get refreshed by those devices. But I really recommend, unless it's a special day, we should use this device no more than an hour at once. And when spending time as distraction, we should be totally focused on that. I want to say we should not let our consciousness hinder to think about the question we just struggled. We should forget what we have done and just to focus on the distraction and let consciousness rest a bit. But the most important thing is that we must not be ashamed of what we have done. Having a distraction sometimes ain't shameful. It's a matter of course. Only a fool is the one who never stops working or cries over a spilled milk. And plus, how could be the life so fruitful and adventure life if there were no distractions? So until now, we've been talking about the hidden power of distraction. Not only it can relieve stress and give us energy to focus, it also paves us the way to creativity. And we've learned how to use this tool effectively to fully understand our biorhythms and to make a plan align with it is really important. So if we could use this distraction really wisely, we could live a happier and healthier life and even get better work efficiency. I surely believe one who can balance their work and distraction could be the most competent in our future life. So before wrapping up my presentation, do you have any questions? Because I want to say something after getting the question.
You mainly discussed about distracting ourselves regularly from the work, but is distracting regularly possible? Even possible? Because, like, from my experiences, distraction just means jumping to another task. So you can't do it regularly; it just happens. So, what's your opinion on this?
You mean involuntary distraction?
Yeah.
I think that's actually the point, right?
It depends on the time and it depends on the situation. I wonder if you saw the graph, but it really subjects to our person. So we're time to time, like having some days we can focus on everything, like sometimes like more than 10 hours, and sometimes we have a time that we can't focus on anything. So we're like kind of stressed out because we have a mind that others are like still studying while I was like suffering from this kind of mental distraction. But so it actually depends on time to time. So I think to use the method flexibly and within your biorhythms is important. That's what I really wanted to say. So I gave you the 3 examples of that, like 60 minutes and 10 minutes of rest, and like 4 hours and 30 minutes of rest. And this is just an example. So you could like lengthen your rest for like about 1 hour after you have been working for like 4 or 5 hours. But the last one that said like 25 minutes of deep work and then 5 minutes of rest, like breathing or like just wandering around could be one of the solutions to match our biorhythms and distractions.
Okay, I think that's all we've got time for.
Yeah, so no, I have just to finish it. So let me finish my presentation. I think the question is kind of done. So I hope this presentation gave us a small change to our mind. And please give me a minute for the last advice. So it's the end of the semester, right? So I know some of us are going to listen to a summer classes, but since there's about a candidature, I really recommend to give us a small present. On this special day, we should be free to do anything we want, and that day would fully refresh us to be ready to focus and do our best on our summer classes and second semester. And now my presentation is done. Thank you for listening. And yeah, those are all the differences.
Differences of pictures. Photos.
Okay.